Hi guys, you're welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Yechi here, and if this is your first video, you've missed a lot, but don't forget to catch up immediately after this video, and please do subscribe. Anyway, I hope you guys have been having an amazing time. Well, I've been stuck back in school trying to finish up my projects and all. It has been a bit rocky because yesterday I found out I have to start all over again, but I mean, life is full of ups and downs. That's really what makes it life. I was a bit sad about it, but we move. So today I'm excited to film because the whole staying back for project, I have not been able to sit down, do my whole setup to film. But hey, I did my setup. It's different from the normal setup, and I hope you like it. So if you do like this setup, the pink background, let me know in the comment section. Yeah, so today's video we're going to be talking about some books that have changed my life, and also where I get my books from, because I get tons of questions. Yechi, where did you get your books from? Yechi, where did you get your ebooks from? So I'm going to be sharing all the tea, where I get my books from, where I buy them from, and also where I get some of my books for free. So let's keep on watching this video. So guys, my very first book that I read, Power and Purpose of a Woman by MYLES MUNROE. So this book has two sides. There's Power and Purpose of a Man, and there's Power and Purpose of a Woman. So I got this book in my 100 level. I did attend like a conference, and then the speaker was talking a lot about the book. Luckily for me, someone was selling the book after the conference, so I decided to get it. I think it cost me about 1/8, and that was a very good buy. It made me understand the way God created women, what we are supposed to do, our strengths, and how it is. So there are some things that someone cannot tell me that, oh, a woman is not supposed to be like this and stuff like that. I'll be able to reply you because of the lessons I picked up in that book. I think I did start reading Power and Purpose of a Man, but I did not finish it. But I think it's equally as good because I know of someone that read it also and also had like good feedback about it. But Power and Purpose of a Woman is very amazing because it's one thing for you to read scripture about, okay, this particular woman in the Bible, and it's another thing for you to actually understand it and know how it applies to you as a 21st century woman. And that is exactly what that book did for me. So I understand how women are and our strengths, our weaknesses, thanks to that book. So the next book on my list is Men Are Like Waffles, Women Are Like Spaghetti. This is by Bill Farrell and Pam Farrell. So this is like a couple that came together and then they wrote a book. So this book was very, very, very interesting read because I read it with my boyfriend at that time. So we had to we'll sit down and then discuss the book. It was really interesting for me to. So it opened up my eyes to see the differences between men and women. The way men think, the way they operate, and also the way women think and the way they operate. So it was really good for me as at that time because it helped me understand, okay, reasons why my partner was acting that way and also why I was acting certain ways. So it's a really good book. I would encourage you to read it if you're dating, if you're about to date. If you're dating, you can read it with your partner just like I did. It's amazing, and they do have like quizzes to the book. I love the quizzes so much. They have quizzes in the book. They have like different things, but like you literally just see yourself play out. So things you've been doing that you don't really know why you're doing it, you start to understand that, oh, this is why I'm acting this way. And basically, but like I love the fact that they were able to use food to describe men and women because I relate a lot with food. You get me? Yeah. So my third book now has to be Smart Money Woman by Arese Ugwu. Currently I'm reading Smart Money Tribe, which is part 2 of the book. I love the book basically because it was different from every kind of book I've seen from Africans, from Nigerians, everything. And before reading that book, I felt like financial security was having a good paying job and then that was it. But it made me realize that it's more than just having a job. That was the first time I started seeing things about investment, about trying to build long-term income. at the time I read it, like I wasn't getting any income at all, but because I read it before, when I started having income, I started thinking of, oh, okay, where to put my money, how much to save, how to start investing. And also it's a really good book. But one thing I'm glad I picked up from that book was that financial security is more than just having a good paying job. It's more than just, oh, a 9 to 5 and all. You also need to have like emergency funds, because anything can happen at any point. Yeah, so it's more than just, you know, having a rich dad, having, you know, a rich husband, having a good job. You have to actually have the habits. It's the habits like saving, investing that make you financially secure, not just the money. Like I always say, more money comes with more money. It's just more money, and most of the time it comes with more desires. It doesn't come to spending or saving habits. So it's not wise for you to say that you're going to wait till when you're earning more before you start to save and invest. Just know that more money doesn't come with a saving habit. Okay, so my fourth book has to be SOAR, Building Your Vision from Ground Up by T.D. Jakes. So I read this book during my IT, and coincidentally it was the same time I was about to launch the student planner again. So this book has a lot of business tips, has a lot of tips for building your brand, everything. And because it's like tips from the Bible, they're so powerful, like they actually work. When I read the book, I did try. This was one book that I took my time to read. So I didn't rush it. As I learned, I would try and apply. And I ended up seeing results, and things were just working for me like beautifully. So it has a lot of tips. What drew my eyes to this book was when the book launched, T.D. Jakes had an interview with Stephen Furtick, who is a pastor also, and they were discussing, you know, the book and everything the book has. So I was really interested in it, but unfortunately I couldn't get my hands on it in Nigeria. I didn't even know when it entered Nigeria. But luckily for me, I went to a motor park. I think I was trying to go to Lagos. So I saw one of all these people that sell books in the motor park, and he had the book, and I'm like, definitely, I'm just going to have to pick up this book. So I picked it up and I read it, and it's one book that I'm going to go back to read. Like if I open the book, I've highlighted almost on every page, and it has so many things I jotted from the book, wrote down in my journal from the book, and it has a lot of things. So if you are looking to build your brand, you have a vision, you have an idea you really want to bring to life, and you need advice, you need help, I would advise that you read this book, These Beds. I would advise that you pick up this book and you read it, and not just read it, but you actually apply it. It is really not about the amount of knowledge in your head. It's really the one that you can apply, bring to life, put to work, and let it work for you. Honestly, guys, great. So my fifth book here is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So this book, they've been telling me to read it, like almost all these motivational talks in secondary school. They will say rich dad, poor dad, rich dad, poor dad. I'm just like, anytime I see the book, I'm like, I beg. It was quite a small book, but I'm just always ignoring it. I had the soft copy of the book. I still did not read the soft copy. But at some point during IT, I just decided to get the book. I'm like, okay, let me just read the book and all, because a lot of people were talking about it like, oh, it's actually good. Even the money pages that I follow will recommend the book. So I picked it up and I decided to read it during my IT. I used to read it at work when I'm less busy and all. And it's opened up my eyes to see a lot of things about money, how you can literally retire. Like, I mean, like, the guy is amazing. Like, everything he learned, how he told his life story in the book, how he built up his career with his wife, everything is explained in that book. And even though it's not 100% relatable, because he is in a different economy than I am. Like, of course, you cannot compare the economy in the US to over here in Nigeria. But I was still able to pick up things that are applicable, really very, very applicable. And yeah, it's just about money. I really love learning about money, because I believe that money is really not about, you know, just money coming in. It's about building a relationship with it, and that means you have to know money and what money can do for you. Simple, that's how I am. It has a lot of tips on money. It's a really, really small book. So if you're someone that, you know, big books like scare you and all, not to worry. It's a small book. You can finish it up in 2 weeks. 2 weeks you're legit done with the book. So my final book on this list is Show Your Work by Austin Kleon. See, if you're a creative, you're a blogger, you're a photographer, you're a writer, you're a comedian, just find their book and then read it. Honestly, this book is the shit. It is the truth. The name implies like show your work, so it taught me like creativity tips, how to put yourself out there, how to promote your brand, how to, you know, establish yourself as a force in your industry. So that was it. I think I read this book in my 2nd year as a blogger and I got a lot from it. He also has a book, Still Like an Artist. Yeah, Still Like an Artist. Yeah, I think that's title. Yeah, that's title. So he has another book, Still Like an Artist, which is also a very good book also. This one I read as soft copy. I think of all the books, this is the only one I read as soft copy. Most of the ones I have as hard copy, I also have them as soft copy. So yeah, but this is the one that I never got the hard copy of. Yeah, so it's a really good book. Just ways to guide you as a creative, because it is one thing for you to create, it's another for your work to actually go out there, it's another for your work to be on different platforms, another thing for your audience to connect with your work, and that is what this book taught me, guys. Yeah, so we're done with part 1 of this video. So now to the second part, which is answering one very huge question, which is where I get my books. I'm going to be listing on all the places I get my books. So for ebooks, I have an elder sister that loves to read. So most of the time, if I want a particular ebook, I first of all ask her for it. I'm like, oh babe, have you read this book? And she's like, that, okay, yeah, I have it. So she has like a gallery where she sends me books from. That's one place where I get my books from. So the second place I get my book from is an e-library. I'm going to drop a link down below. They have different kind of books. They don't really have like, you know, the new books and all, but like a lot of old books by really popular authors you can find there, like this Rich Dad Poor Dad. You can find it there because it's a very popular book by a very popular author. So all those like common books, motivational books, a lot of them you can find there. That's also where I get my textbooks from. So that's number 2 place where I get my books from. So the third place where I get my books from has to be motor parks. So I'm always traveling, maybe not always, but I travel quite a lot, and I'm shuffling like Ibadan and Lagos. So most of the time I'm waiting in the car to for the cab to get filled up, and there are a lot of guys that move around selling books. So I've gotten quite an amount of books from them, especially during my IT period when I was doing a lot of road movements. Yeah, so I've gotten quite an amount of books from them. The books there are quite affordable. You can also get books also in Traffic. There's Traffic on Uzumba, Traffic in Maryland. Those places, I've seen quite an amount of people selling books in Traffic there. Yeah, so 4th place I get my book will be bookstores. So a couple of bookstores I work into. In Ibadan, I go to Booksellers. In Lagos, I go to Pataba Books in Surulere, or I go to Roving Heights, which is also in Surulere. So those are bookstores that I know that they stock a lot of good books, a lot of motivational books. You can find them there. So place 4, bookstores, and I've given you my trusted bookstores in Ibadan and Lagos. Place number 5 has to be Bella Books on Instagram. So this is my new book plug, and she saves me the stress of having to go into a bookstore. She stocks some of life's best books, and you can actually message her and request for a book, and she'll tell you once it's in stock and you get it from her. Her delivery fee is super affordable. The price of the books so affordable. I recently got 4 books from her, and everything plus delivery cost me 8,000 naira. So with her, it's just that I'll be buying like a good amount, like the way I bought 4 now. So when I'm done reading the 4, I'll go for another number of books, and that's how I plan on building my collection. So if you're someone that doesn't like to really move around, you know, maybe Lagos traffic is hectic and all, and you really don't want to do it, then just message Bella Books for your books, and then she's always ready to deliver. So those are, you know, my 5. I've given you 6 books that changed my life. I'm giving you 5 places where I get my book. In the description box, I have more books that I have read for different aspects of life. It's a file, so just click on the link and then you get the list of books that I would recommend you guys to read that I have read and I'll recommend. Yeah, so you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know your favorite books. I do love finding out, you know, new books, especially with Nigerian authors. or even African, or anybody. I can learn from anybody, literally. So just let me know in the description, in the comment section rather, in the comment section, your favorite books that have also impacted your life. And thank you. So do subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in my next video, which I guess I'm filming tomorrow. Yeah.